I'd like to call this regularly rescheduled meeting of the Harlingen City Commission, which has been duly posted, to order. And at this time, call upon Commissioner Tudor Yulhorn to lead us in an invocation.
If you'll please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today to give you honor and praise. We recognize that you are the source of all that is good and that you are the source of all of our blessings. Thank you for all the gifts of this life that you have bestowed upon us. We thank you for the freedom and opportunity to gather this day. We ask for your blessing upon this meeting. We ask that you would guide and direct our meeting so that it is full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. Thank you for helping to guide our work on behalf of our neighbors and our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to welcome everybody. Glad to have you all here. Tonight we're going to begin with some proclamations. The first one, item number one, is the presentation of the following proclamations. The first one declaring the month of May 2018 as Elder Abuse Awareness Month. And then the second one declaring the week of May 5th through the 11th, 2019 as Drinking Water Week, and C, declaring May 19th as Lupus Awareness Month. So we'll start with Elder Abuse Awareness Month, and ask Pablo Garza, and the APS specialists that are here to come on up and join me. We have Amanda Zuniga. You'll stand over here. Looking that way. Amanda Zuniga, Amanda Viescas, Monica Figueroa, Marisa Salinas, and Abigail Rivera. All right. We want to present this proclamation in your honor, whereas people who are elderly or have disabilities have contributed to the general welfare of this community and throughout the state of Texas by helping to preserve customs, convictions, and traditions of many people from diverse backgrounds. Whereas these residents are vital and integral members of our society, and their wisdom and experience have enriched our lives. And whereas abuse of the elderly and people with disabilities in domestic and institutional settings is a widespread problem affecting hundreds of thousands of people across the country. And whereas in 2018 there were 116,578 completed cases of elderly and disabled person abuse in Texas, of which 84,439 were confirmed. And whereas elder abuse is grossly underreported because the elderly who are being abused find it very difficult to tell anyone and are usually ashamed and sometimes afraid. And whereas elder abuse happens to men and women of all income levels, all cultural and ethnic groups, whether they are in good health or incapacitated in some way in poor neighborhoods and in suburbia. And whereas many of the cases investigated by Adult Protective Services in Texas involve self-neglect, and it is our duty as citizens to reach out to these people in need. Now, therefore, I, Chris Boswell, Mayor of Harlingen, to hereby proclaim the month of May 2019 as Elder Abuse Prevention Month in Harlingen, and urge all citizens to work together to reduce the abuse and neglect of people who are elderly or who have disabilities. We express our appreciation to you for working in this important field and working to prevent abuse of our elderly and our disabilities. Thank you very much on behalf of the city and the city commission. We appreciate all of you.
The commissioners here for having May 2019 as the Elder Abuse Prevention Month. Take care again. Thank you.
All right. Take your picture.
3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you all. All right, the second one Dylan and Neil Sanchez, come on up. You received
I didn't expect that.
this proclamation.
There may be more of them there.
Yeah, we do have one.
May have more people to come up.
Harlingen Utility, come on up. Whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas only tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy, and whereas any measure of successful society, low mortality rates, economic growth, and diversity, productivity, and public safety are in some way related to access to safe water, and whereas we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which future generations depend, and whereas each citizen of our city is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved with water issues by getting to know their water. Now, therefore, I be it resolved that by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Harlingen, and to hereby proclaim May 5th through 11th, 2019 as Drinking Water Week, and present this to Tim and to all of you, and thank you for the important work that you all do at the Harlingen Water Works. I was at Austin Elementary for Career Day earlier in the week, and I was telling a bunch of fifth graders that, believe it or not, safe drinking water is really the thing that has made us live longer and made our society healthier. And treatment of wastewater more so than medicine. So if you want to go into a field that really impacts the community and your fellow man, that you should consider working for the Harlingen Water Works.
Absolutely.
So, and they all kind of looked at me and said, huh? It's true. It's really true, and you should never forget, don't take for granted that water when you turn it off in the morning, and don't take for granted that dirty water has to go someplace too. All right. So thank you all very much. Tim, you want to say anything?
Sure. We're going to kick off our Water Week at Jackson Street Market Days. It's coming Saturday. We'll be at the corner of 3rd and Jackson Street. We normally pass out some of our finest vintage water. This year we've got some other tables set up. We've got some educational displays, and we've actually got the Wheel of Water, which is a fun game allowing our guests and visitors to answer some questions about water and what we do, and even win a prize. So we'd like to welcome everybody out there. It'll be a lot of fun. We have a great time with it. I want to thank Milton especially for putting together a lot of that effort. It's expanded over what we've done in past years, so come out and join us. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
All right, now we have the Lupus Awareness Month proclamation, and I believe that we have Yvette Rosa, Larry and Louisa Alexander, and Mary and Jay Garcia. All would like to come forward, or anyone else that is associated with your organization, come on up. Kind of look out towards the audience and the ear, come on. Whereas the Lupus Foundation of America, Texas Gulf Coast Chapter, was founded in 1984 and is dedicated to improving the quality of life for all people affected by lupus through programs of research, education, and advocacy in 49 countries. And whereas more than 5 million people worldwide have lupus, a misunderstood and misdiagnosed disease with no known cause or cure, impacting primarily women during childbearing years, and whereas in celebration of Lupus Awareness Month, the Lupus Foundation of America Texas Gulf Coast Chapter will celebrate World Lupus Day on May 10th, put on Purple Day on May 18th, and will host its 5th annual Walk to End Lupus, now in Fun Run at Pendleton Park on October 5th, 2019. And whereas the City of Harlingen salutes and commends the Lupus Foundation of America Texas Gulf Coast Chapter for their commitment to educating and spreading awareness in Harlingen about lupus, and extends best wishes for a successful observance of Lupus Awareness Month. Now therefore, be it resolved by the virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Harlingen, we hereby proclaim the month of May 2018 as Lupus Awareness Month. So we congratulate you for this important work that you all are doing in our community, and thank you so much for what you all do.
2, 1. On time, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Like to say anything?
Yes, we'd like to thank you, Mayor, and the city for putting the word out that there is a support group as well, and we meet every second Tuesday of the month at the Valley Baptist Medical Center from 7 to 8, and that the people are not out there by themselves. It's a very important support group that helps the people who's hit with this dreaded disease of lupus. So we appreciate the city and yourself putting the word out to the community that we are available there.
Thank you so much for what you guys do. Item 2 is a presentation by the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District Career Technology Director Raul Alvarez and our chief to update the City Commission on the current status of the HCISD Fire Academy completion of its second year. Chief?
Mayor Boswell, Commissioners, Mr. Serna, thank you for allowing us to time to come before you. About 2-3 years ago, we came before you and asked for your support to work an MOU, to work in conjunction with our HCISD Korean Technology Group to form a fire academy to present an opportunity to our high school students. That is in its second year completion now. They're getting ready to graduate. We've asked the Career Technology Director, Raul Alvarez, to come before you and make a little brief presentation and give you an update as to where we are now. Raul?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity. And Mr. Mayor, thank you again for going out there to Austin Elementary. We need support like that to show our kids that we're trying to prepare them not only for college, but for career readiness as well in our district. Let's see if I get this going here for you. Oh, thank you. So, real briefly, a little bit of the history. We started working together and collaborating way back in 2016. We started planning, we started designing, and we were ready to implement the first high school city firefighting entity collaboration south of San Antonio. And so this was something that hadn't been done before. There are sporadic fire academies, but they work a little differently by not unifying with the city. So we took the initiative to take it one step further, putting our community together this way. The MOU was created in 2016, and in 2017-18, we kicked off our first academy. Now, we're very selective of the students that we pick. They have to apply. There's an application process for them to get in. We have parental meetings where we sit with the parents and the students, and we go over these are the expectations. Because as being a full-fledged functioning academy, the expectations for this academy is equivalent and equal to that of adults in any firefighter academy. And so our goal is, and I'll get to the goal in a second, to keep our kids in there for 2 years. It's a 2-year program, a 2-year commitment. We have students that decide to do this instead of athletics or do this instead of band because they see this as a career pathway that they want to pursue. So we started with Cohort 1 in 2017-18, and as the Chief had mentioned, we're at the end right now of Cohort 2 getting ready, or Cohort 1 getting ready to graduate. Cohort 2 is in 11th grade. We've already started our pre-registration, so we'll have 3 cohorts in the system by this August, and we'll have a total of 42 cadets that we've serviced that are in this academy so far. So we take classes at HCISD, and these are our students and these are instructors, and they also take them at local fire department training centers, utilizing for the most part Harlingen Fire Department gear and equipment. All of our instructors are Harlingen firefighters who on their time, when they're not fighting fires or working, they're giving their time to our students and becoming teachers and mentors to them as well. We're in state compliance with Texas Commission on Fire Protection and Texas Department of State Health Services requirements, which means that when our students graduate, they are able to sit and take the state firefighter examination. What that will do for them is, our goal and prayer is that they graduate and complete and successfully pass this examination, which makes them applicable to any firefighting entity or city in the state of Texas. Our goal, and we just covered the first one, getting them ready to become firemen. They also develop lifelong skills because now they have mentors that a lot of these students need today. And the mentors are firefighters themselves who understand struggles and understand what it takes to persevere in situations. And so they become their big brothers and big sisters, part of the family of firefighting, if you will. And for us as educators, the biggest thing is they're eligible for free college tuition. So what happens is when a student passes the examination and they're certified firefighters, and then they apply for, say, the city of Harlingen, for example, and they're picked up as Harlingen firefighters, then they can apply through the Higher Education Coordinating Board for free education, say with Texas A&M University, if they major in fire science, homeland security, or public administration. And it's tuition free for firefighters. And so this gives our kids opportunities to not only excel through high school, but afterwards as well. This is our kids right here. We wanted to share this with you. They formed their own club. They formed their own entity. These kids have become brothers and sisters. We bus kids from both high schools to one central location. And so I guess the football Cardinal Hawk thing is left on the football field, but not here. They all care for each other. They all get along. They formed bonds and brotherhood and sisterhood. And here, they were tearing apart some of our old vehicles. And so we just want to thank you for what you're doing for our kids. Thank you for your commitment to our students of HCISD. HCISD has right now about 18,000 students out there every single day. Of those, 6,000 of them are CTE students. And so we're doing what we can with your support to get them college and career ready so they can give back to our community. Thank you.
So how competitive is this?
The application process, first they have to pass their TSI and be in compliance. They have to write an application out. They have to get letters of recommendation, and we also look at their grades. And so we go through a selection process through a committee to see if our applicants meet these criteria. They also have to take certain courses, and we start telling them this right in middle school and getting the promotion on because they're only eligible for 11th and 12th grade. So the application starts in 10th grade. So right now we're collecting applications for the next cohort. And so we spill it all out there. This is what you need to do if you want to be a firefighter. There's also a physical fitness component, because they have to be able to carry the gear exactly like an adult firefighter. They have to meet certain codes and certain standards, and so we hold them to that. And so it is very, very selective.
That's great. Anybody have any questions?
No, I was just going to say, you do it at Harlingen South.
We do it at Harlingen South.
And I live one block from there, so I get to watch them on the way home, and I see them. At first I was wondering what the heck was going on, because I saw the fire engine out there, then I realized that it's their fire engine that
Yes.
they have out there. And so I think it's wonderful what you're doing, really wonderful.
As an educator myself, as an instructor, I think this is a very good program. Being that they're afterwards, they can get free tuition, that's great, because the tuitions are going up on universities, and I just had one that graduated, so I know, but it's a great benefit for them. So I didn't know that part until you mentioned it right now,
Yes, sir.
so that's great.
They get free tuition, and a four-year degree from Texas A&M with no tuition doesn't get any better.
That's great.
That's great.
Y'all doing a great
On behalf
job.
of the Harlingen Fire Department, Mayor, Commissioners also, thank you so much for allowing us to partner up with HCISD. Again, thank you.
Chief, and Chief, thank you. You have anything else you want to say about the program? I'm sure it strengthens your team's skills
Yes, it does.
by getting additional chances to train these young people and these kids, and so it also enhances our department. So everybody wins with this program. So congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the report.
Great stuff.
Item 3 is the approval of the
minutes of the regular meeting of January 16th. Are there any additions or corrections?
I move we approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Items 4A and 4B, the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Item 5,
Mayor, Commission, I would ask that we table this item. I would like an opportunity to sit down with staff and the owner of the development and talk to them a little bit more about this request. If you would grant me that opportunity.
okay. Is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those like sign.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Item 6, consideration of possible action to approve a memorandum of understanding between the City of Harlingen and South Texas Amateur Repeater Society to provide support services to the City of Harlingen during the activation of Emergency Operations Center and authorize the city manager to sign the MOU in the event of customary modes of communication are compromised.
Mayor, Commissioners, I come before you again, and again, as you mentioned, this is a memorandum of MOU that we would like to set in place with South Texas Amateur Repeaters Society, otherwise known as S.T.A.R.S. They handle our ham radio operations during an event, and God forbid we have one, but we need to prepare for that. They're doing it at no cost to us. We have met with our city attorneys who helped us draft that, thank you. And it went ahead and went before our legal and our city manager. So we bring it before you for consideration so we can implement this with the upcoming hurricane season. We can be prepared for communications in case our communications at the 911 center have gone down. Chief Kester and I have both met with Dr. Woolweaver, who's very supportive. He's actually worked with us very nicely, and Chief Kester is here also to support our efforts as we move forward to try to get this in place. So our staff recommends approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7, consideration of possible action to approve a contract between Stacy Lara and the City of Harlingen to provide a Learn to Swim program at Pendleton Park and authorize the city manager to sign the contract. Javier?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, City Commission. This agreement here is to allow Ms. Lara to perform Learn to Swim instruction there at Pendleton Pool. And there's not going to be any conflict with our existing programs. And so the schedule would be two one-hour sessions Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then 6 one-hour sessions on Saturday beginning at 7 a.m. To 12 p.m. And those are our regular hours of operation at Pendleton Pool. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Board reviewed it February 19th, and they're recommending approval together with staff.
Is there a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 8, consideration of possible action to approve an interlocal agreement between the City of Harlingen and the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District for the use of 2 school buses during Parks and Recreation 2019 Summer Recreation and Track Program.
Yes, Mayor, City Commission, this is an agreement that we've been using for the past 4 or 5 years, and so we reach out to the school district to allow us to use their school buses to be able to bus our summer recreation and track program kids from location to location, and it's for 51 days. It'll begin May 30th, and it'll run through July 19th, and the contract is attached.
Okay.
This is nothing different from the year before, correct?
No, sir.
A motion for an approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, the motion carries. Item 9, consideration of possible action to approve a facility use agreement between the City of Harlingen and Rio Grande Valley Football Club Toros for the use of the Harlingen Soccer Complex and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement.
Mayor, City Commission, the Toros Soccer League, they've approached us and they were interested in having a sort of an academy at the soccer complex, and so we reached out to them. We met with our Parks Advisory Board, and the Parks Advisory Board recommended for us to pursue creating an agreement with them. And so what we will be allowing them to use is Field 2 at the soccer complex, and it'll be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then what we'll do is if they want to have any tournaments or any other games, then we would have to coordinate those with our existing leagues there at the soccer complex. And the group does agree. One change, if it is approved, Mayor, if we can change the name just to coincide with their DBA, it's RGV FC Youth Academy. I spelled it out, but that's the way it's on their DBA. So if we can change that on the agreement, if it's approved.
Okay, with that change, is there a motion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Javier, we're not going to have any conflict with the existing Arroyo Soccer League that, for these fields, there's plenty of times for both of them, so we're not going to have a room full of parents at our next meeting?
No, that's correct. We did meet with both groups. Both of them were there at the Park Advisory Board, and so they'll be using only one field out there. And then, of course, we have two other groups. We have the Arroyo Youth, and then we have the adult co-ed. But they won't be, there's no conflict with as far as using the fields.
Is this,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
is this European football? In America, we call it soccer. Is this American football, which we call football?
Yes, it'll be soccer.
It's soccer.
Soccer, yes.
European.
Football.
Foosball.
What about the concessions?
The concessions, they can run it, but they won't be able to use the building. So we shared with them that they would have to set up either a table or something outside to be able to sell
They would come
soft
into
drinks or,
the
yeah.
permitting process.
Right. It wouldn't be any hot foods, it would just be prepackaged.
Okay.
Okay, will you repeat the correct name so that we can have it for the record when we make the motion?
Yes, it's RGV FC Youth Academy.
Okay. With that being said, I would make the motion that we accept it with that change to the agreement.
Okay,
Second.
any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 10, board appointments.
Thank you.
I have none, sir.
No.
I have reappointments. We're going to have Elba Munoz reappointed to the Library Advisory Board. And we have Alessandra Munoz reappointed to the Keep Harlingen Beautiful and the Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Okay, and then I have to appoint to the Complete Count Census Committee, George McShann, Edna Tamayo, and Wayne Lowry. Is there a motion to approve the board?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 11, executive closed session pursuant to Chapter 551, Sections 551.087, 551.071, and 551.072, the local government code regarding commercial and financial information from a business prospect with which the city is conducting economic development negotiations or to discuss or deliberate financial or other incentives with business prospect known as Project Dream, and to seek legal advice from city attorney regarding the subject matter. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Ladies and gentlemen, the city commission is going to meet with its attorney in the conference room, and there could be action when we return. Thank you.
I hate to give that to us.
Okay, we're out of executive session at 6:28, and we'll go to item 12. There'll be no action on item 12, and item 13, nobody signed up for citizen communication. So that concludes our meeting, and we are adjourned. Thank you all.